All right, here we go with the second half of day 2 with Steve and Humphrey. Another productive day chasing trains on Tehachapi. It's still up here way long up above on the top end. And it is starting to rain again. It looks like it's actually kind of starting to spit some snow. It's not very cold, doesn't feel cold, but looks like he is going on to the number 1 track, which will take him through the tunnel. Up here, tunnel 10, that's tunnel 9. Sorry about that. My lenses get wet and they won't focus. All right, well, I am getting soaked. And my phone's getting all wet. So now I'll put this one away and see what happens next. One of my back tires is going flat. And it is definitely snowing here in Tehachapi. We've got about a half an hour or so to wait before we can get this tire fixed. So we're going to go grab a burger. Coming back in a little bit. I thought they were going to come and pick up the cars from this end, but evidently they're not. So we'll go back to the other end and see what's up. Alright, sorry I did not have time to put my dead cat on. Had to boogie out here there, as you saw. And yeah, we had to beat feet to get out here. That's alright. It is really super windy out here. Like this yesterday when we came out as well, but there was nothing going on out there down in Mojave anywhere when we were here yesterday. But when we got here today, these guys were switching in the yard, and the other local was going out to Camira, which is out on the Lone Pine Branch about 2 miles north of Mojave, and decided always leave it up to Steven. This wanted to catch this one, and we spoke to one of the guys on the train, told us they were coming out here. We are out at Fleta, which is we're about, I don't know, 3 miles from where we are, 3 or 4 miles east of Mojave. Compass south now. So I guess south, I don't know, whatever fits you best. But yeah, you can see by the pucker bushes, the greasewoods, they are whipping around. It is windy. It's chilly, but it's not cold. It's about 50 degrees. Conductor's name, but not here last time. Steven and I were out here and we followed the coal train. Yeah, pretty cool cat. Watch this. Signal right here. Wiggling all over the place from the wind. Those signals are pretty solid. The wind blows across those instead of face into them out here, but up at between Mojave and Cameron after the big curve up there, when it makes the turn and goes toward Tehachapi, the wind just wreaks havoc with those things. Those hoods catch the wind. And in the short time I was the Tehachapi maintainer at the end of my career, we had 3 or 4 of those break. Gang had to come out and changed the whole setup one time. And then I designed a way to kind of brace them up on two of the other ones. I was told after I left they ended up bringing the gang out and changing all those. It seemed to me that my buddy Don designed a similar thing to what I did to try to help keep those things from breaking so easily. Okay, this is much easier from the truck. They are backing out onto the Y, onto the creel. It's not a, it's, they use it as a Y, but it's technically not a Y, but you know what I mean. You can see all the clouds stacked up against the Tehachapis there. And as you look north along the Sierras, it's really not that bad up there. Just this little area here.
I'm waiting to get across the crossing here. The blitz is shoving back. I'll let you know when we get up there.
And that is the train that I don't know if the train that goes out to Camira, I don't know if that has a name up. If you do, let me know in the comments below. But they're talking to each other about getting into the yard and coming through the yard, and they're waiting for this guy to get out of the way. That's a pretty cool shot of the whole train. The windmills and wind turbines. The clouds behind it. Yeah, that's a cool shot. Moving in off the Y. said that in the course of my career, the wind was my least favorite weather to work in. I hated working in the wind. Rain and snow, whatever, fog, whatever. You get cold, you put a coat on, gear up for it. But there's nothing you can do to brace yourself or prepare for wind. You're exhausted at the end of the day from just trying to move around and stand up. Eyes and nose, nostrils and mouth full of dirt, crunchies. And can't set anything down, blows away. All right, well, we left Mojave. Switching over there wasn't getting any more exciting. Saw this guy going through Edison sometime back on the cam and thought we'd come up and catch him. Yellow over yellow, it means when he gets to Waylon, he'll be taking the turnout onto the number 1 track. And as far as westbounds go, there was nothing on the UP coming west into Mojave, and there was nothing at all in either direction between Mojave and here. This guy went through Edison at 12 minutes after 2. And it is, sorry about that, turn the camera off. I'm trying to get my watch. But it's almost 5 now. And I saw nothing on the Edison cam coming east behind this guy. As I said, no, there's nothing coming west. So, I don't know. Stick around and see if things open up a little bit later. I told Jennifer that we would be home about dark tonight. I went home a little early last night, but I figure since Stephen came all the way here from England, might as well stick around as long as we can and give him every opportunity to see as many trains as he can possibly see. He showed me a deal on his phone. He keeps track of all the locomotives that he sees, the numbers of them, and what railroad they're on. And he has hundreds of them. I don't know how he keeps track of it. Sometimes I can't even remember what railroad, whether it was a BNSF or a UP that went by. It is much, much nicer than it was when we left this afternoon to go over to Mojave. It was snowing. I had to stop and get a flat fixed. And in Tehachapi, it was snowing and windy and cold. Alright, this westbound, this one snuck by us on the cam. We were not expecting him, but that's alright. this is the last train I'm gonna shoot today. We're up here above Bealville. Going through the east end right now. You can see the DPUs coming down the hill going into Tunnel 5 up there to the left. The weather has calmed down significantly. The sun is out. Hills are green. Just a gentle breeze rather than a wind. We can't figure out why he stopped. We thought maybe they were doing a crew change because you saw the black pickup, which I'm almost certain is the UP special agent. And there was that blue car. I don't know who that was, but they took off and went up over the hill. The cop went on the left side of the train and the blue car on the right side. Maybe it's one of the train masters or something, MOP or whatever their title is. Poor Steven, we caught this train up at Rowan. He wanted to catch it with the light like this, and right as the train came, our sun went behind a cloud, so we hurried up and come down here, and it was just perfect. Now he's stopped, and his light will probably be gone for that. So, all right, well, heard on the radio that was the UP cop. I don't know who the other person was, but there are some open doors on the containers, and they are back there. Went back there to close those doors. So that's what's going on with this guy. Well, a few minutes later, the Union Pacific special agent came back up to the head end, and I went over and spoke with him briefly, and they did have to go back and close some doors, and from the time this train slowed down and got stopped and they took care of all of that, the crew was going on the hours, and they were going to be there for at least another 2 hours waiting to recrew the train, which sucks for them on single track. I don't know how close they were to being dead when they pulled down the hill. You'd think they could have stopped them at Cliff or taken them into the siding at Bealville, but that's not what happened. So, yeah, we did not stick around. It was almost 6:30 by the time this all happened, so we just went home. Here are the URLs to my PayPal and my Patreon. If you can help the channel out that way, I'd sure appreciate it. Keep shooting me the ideas. Drop in the comments below. Shoot me an email, motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content, and we'll see you very soon.